Welcome to TV Africa. Thank you so much for joining us and always being part of us. This is Africa Today. My name is Nahaba Kajura, but first are the headlines. Uganda to celebrate 25 years of free primary education. A boy aged 2 years drowns as rain pounds Kampala, Uganda. A group of young Africans attended technology training workshop in China. In a sports news today, FIFA announces new expanded format for the new 2026 World Cup. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. We start with one of our top stories. The government of Uganda, through its Ministry of Education and Sports, is set to commemorate 25 years of universal primary education since its inception in 1997. The celebrations will be held at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds on Friday, 17th, 2023.
Speaking to journalists at Uganda Media Center in Kampala, Ismail Mulindwa, Director Basic Education, revealed that the government of Uganda is committed to increasing access to education for all as Uganda celebrates 25 years of free primary education. Started in 1997, universal primary education has seen a number of achievements ranging from increased access to education to gender equality, as highlighted by Director Mulindwa. Mulindwa says that the program has faced a number of challenges which the government is committed to address. Harriet Chakwa from Plan International Uganda applauded the government of Uganda for the program and also reaffirmed their continued partnership.
Moving on, a 2-year-old boy whose mother reportedly left Uganda for greener pastures drowned in a trench as rain pounded Kampala and its neighboring parts for several hours on Tuesday, according to police. According to the Deputy Kampala Metropolitan Police spokesperson Luke Owesigire, the caretaker Claire Asimwe alleges that the deceased, by the names of Ainebiona, was playing with the other children inside the house and she was washing clothes inside the house. He added that she said that she doesn't know how the deceased sneaked outside, and yet just at the doorsteps there is a trench and it was flooded. According to the ASP Owesigire, the downpour also disrupted traffic flow within Kampala Metropolitan as sections of some roads were flooded. Motorists and other road users in the flood-prone Banda Chambogo along Jinja-Kampala Highway were stuck for the better part of the morning as water cut off the roads. Majority of the vehicles on sale that were parked by the roadside outside the car bonds along Jinja Road were also submerged in the floods, and operators of small food joints were forced to relocate their businesses to unknown destinations. Another floodplain, Bata Bata in Zana, along Entebbe Road was also submerged, paralyzing traffic for hours. ASP Owesigire added in a Tuesday evening statement that properties worth millions of shillings were destroyed due to water that entered people's shops, houses and offices. Africa Today takes a quick break. We shall come back with the international news. Welcome back for the break. You're still watching TV Africa, the right to know. In international news, the Volcanological Observatory of Goma in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo reported on Monday evening that a glow was observed at the top of a volcano in the region, without posing any risk to the city affected in 2021 by the eruption of another volcano.
From 18 hours local time, a glow was observed at the top of Nyiramugira volcano neighboring Nyiragongo, whose eruption in May 2021 had killed 32 people and destroyed several hundred houses in Goma, the provincial capital of North Kivu, according to the observatory. The observatory said in a statement that current seismic data indicate a movement of magma at shallow depths towards the central crater of Nyamulagira, adding that if the current activity leads to an eruption on the flank, the lava would flow into the Virunga National Park. The observatory recommends the population of Goma, a city of more than 1 million inhabitants located on the Rwandan border, to remain calm and go about their business freely. However, it specifies that volcanic products such as ashes and slag may fall back into inhabited areas and asks in particular to respect the instructions for washing vegetables. It also recommends to the aviators to take into account the wind direction when flying over the Virunga region.
Moving on, in our international news, a group of young people from Africa have been attending training sessions at the Laban workshop in China's Tianjin municipality, now named after the ancient woodcraft master Luban. It aims to share Chinese technology and experience through hands-on learning.
Alison Selamu, an Ethiopian member of the workshop's training personnel, say that high-end technologies and practical education makes the workshop different from other programs. He said that the first thing is that the Laban workshop system and the training centers contain high-end technologies. You will practice immediately what you have learned. Many of the young stars attending the workshop hope that by acquiring these vital vocation skills, they can not only realize their dreams but also help drive economic and social development in their home countries. Abakuma Getachew Bele, a trainee from Ethiopia who is passionate about robotics, said he wanted to use his skills to help develop his country's manufacturing industry. Students also say the workshop will help them open up invaluable opportunities in their careers. Trainers said that practical experience gained through this kind of workshop was also the only way to truly master these skills, which are centered on the application of technology. The Laban workshops are run both in China and various countries in Africa.
Away from that, Samura Kamara, who served as Minister of Finance and then Minister of Foreign Affairs under President Ernest Bai Koroma from 2007 to 2018 and was defeated by current President Julius Maada Bio in the 2018 presidential runoff, has declared himself as a candidate.
This comes as the Sierra Leone court on Thursday began a corruption trial against the main opposition party's candidate in this year's presidential election, opening the way for the possible invalidation of his bid. The High Court had earlier on Thursday rejected an appeal to throw out the allegations against Samura Kamara, who this week was chosen as the All People's Congress candidate for the June presidential poll. A conviction would prevent Kamara from running for president and holding public office. A former foreign and finance minister under ex-president Ernest Bai Koroma, Kamara is viewed as the main rival to the current leader Julius Maada Bio, who will stand for re-election. In December 2021, he was charged with misappropriating more than $2.5 million in public funds in a case tied to planned refurbishments to a New York consulate while he was foreign minister. The High Court on Thursday rejected a no-case submission presented by the APC's lawyers and asked Kamara to put up a defense case against the corruption allegations in a trial.
Moving on, Malawi's president on Monday declared a state of disaster in several southern districts, including the commercial hub Blantyre, after the powerful cyclone Freddy made a comeback, killing dozens, according to the presidency.
The presidency said a statement after the storm left a trail of destruction and killed more than 60 people in the southern African country that President Lazarus Chakwera noted with grave concern the devastation that Cyclone Freddy is currently bringing to most districts and declared a state of disaster in the southern region. Government is already responding to the disaster while appealing for local and international relief aid for the affected families, it said. More than 60 bodies were found during the day in southern Malawi, where heavy downpours triggered flooding, according to the Red Cross. More people are still missing. Blantyre City was badly impacted, with regional police spokeswoman Beatrice Mekuwa saying at least 36 bodies were recovered in the township of Chilowe, which has been hit the most, with dozens of houses were washed away. Freddy on track to become one of the longest-lasting storms on record, barreled through southern Africa at the weekend for the second time within weeks, making a comeback after a fast hit in the late February.
Now we take a quick break. We shall come back with business, health, and sports. Welcome back from the break. You're still watching TV Africa, the right to know. In a business news today on Monday, the United Nations stressed full commitment to the Black Sea Grain Initiative as Russia offered a 60-day extension. The proposed extension is half the number of days agreed in November.
The discussions on the initiative, which allows exports of Ukrainian grain through the Black Sea, come before it expires this weekend. If a new step was reached in Geneva, concerns about global food safety remain. Michael Puma, director of Columbia University's Center for Climate Systems Research, say that apart from the global prices, which are sort of stabilized, other factors important for food accessibility are still challenging. Another concern, even in the global markets, is the continued presence of export restrictions. The number of restrictions has been at a high level, comparable to the food crisis of 2007-2008, so there is concern that there is this tension in the markets that continues up until present in the global markets. Russia and Ukraine are key cereal crops and oils exporters. The Black Sea Grain Initiative is a UN-backed deal, also endorsed by Turkey. It includes a memorandum of understanding between Russia and the UN to ease fertilizer exports. The UN said that since last July, it has allowed the exports of 24 million metric tons of grain, with 55% of food exports going to developing countries.
In a health news today, 6 mobile vaccine production units by German pharma company BioNTech arrived in Rwanda on Monday, the first such shipments to Africa as the continent seeks to boost mRNA vaccine manufacturing.
The units, made from cycled shipping containers, arrived in the capital Kigali, where they will be assembled to make a vaccine production hub for jabs against a variety of illness. The COVID-19 pandemic exposed Africa's huge dependency on imported vaccines. Less than 50% of the continent's 1.2 billion people are fully inoculated against COVID-19, according to the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The facility in Kigali, capable of producing up to 100 million mRNA vaccines per year, will take at least 12 months before it starts producing doses. The containers, dubbed BioNTech, will also pioneer treatments in the development phase against diseases like malaria, tuberculosis, and HIV that are among the leading killers in Africa. BioNTech said it had employed 9 local scientists with a plan to increase staffing to at least 100 by next year and eventually have local employees run the facility. Rwanda will distribute the vaccines to the 55-member African Union bloc. Rwanda's facility is the first of 3 slated for Africa, with deliveries planned for South Africa and Senegal, according to BioNTech.
In a sports news today, World Football Governing Body FIFA on Tuesday announced the new format for the 2026 World Cup, which will be an expanded tournament featuring 48 teams. Its new blueprint for the event will see 104 matches taking place, a huge rise compared to the 64 games played in the 2022 tournament.
According to FIFA, the revised format mitigates the risk of collusion and ensures that all the teams play a minimum of 3 matches while providing balanced rest time between competing teams. The new format also means the top 2 in each group will go through to the knockout round along with the 8 best third-placed sides. While the duration of the North American tournament is not yet known, participants will be joining their squads on 25th May for a shortened preparation period. The number of venues will double in 2026 from 8 stadiums in Qatar to 16, of which 11 will be in the United States, 3 in Mexico and 2 in Canada. It has not yet been decided which of the 16 cities will host the final, which will take place on Sunday, 19th July.
It is at this particular time that I thank you for joining us and always being part of us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We shall keep updating you. It is TV Africa, the right to know.